Are you ready to learn the 3 secrets to launching a successful podcast? Hi, I'm Bill, a recent client of the Podcast Mogul. If you've been thinking about starting a podcast but aren't sure where to begin, he's got you covered. He is hosting a free webinar where he will share the 3 secrets that can help you launch, grow, and monetize your podcast without any fancy equipment or technical headaches. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot now and let him help get your podcast off the ground.
You're listening to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast, brought to you by Phil Better, Inc. If you want to take your podcast to the next level, make sure you book your free 15-minute call with Phil Better, the Podcast Mogul, at www.philbetterinc.com. Welcome to Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. I am, of course, Phil Better. Today, I am very happy to have Nana Piesie. I think I said his name right this time. The family man entrepreneur. He's joining us today to discuss his journey as a digital entrepreneur in the the property investment world. So I'm very thankful for him to be here. Nana, thank you very much for being a guest on the show.
Thank you. And I have to correct you. It's Nana. But
Nana. Dang it. I knew I was going to get it wrong, but Nana, thank you so much.
No worries.
Please tell me I'm not the only one who does that.
No, you're not. No. Yeah, this happened. It happens. It's all right. It's a Ghanaian name, so that's why.
Awesome. Nana, how about you give us just a quick, 30-second little introduction about yourself so my audience can learn about you, and then we can jump into the interview.
Okay. So I'm, as you mentioned, Nana Piesie. I'm from Sweden, and my parents are from Ghana, but I'm born in Sweden, so I'm a second generation. I have 2 daughters. One is 2 weeks, and one is 3 years. Me and my fiance, we invest in the UK property market from Sweden, so it's remotely. And we're trying to scale up, and we have several other businesses.
Awesome. I love that. I love the hustle, not just focusing on one, but growing as many as you can to help 10x your business and your life. So we're going to start off with, what would you consider your first real success in the digital world and that?
In the digital world, I think, like I mentioned, that we could be able to purchase a property from Sweden in my living room and just send it through, through the email, and just see how the money come in and just do it remotely. That's the beautiful thing, in this digital age. Yeah. There's no excuses of not being an entrepreneur in this time of age. We live in the best time of age.
Yeah, I have to fully agree with you. It's now like after when the pandemic hit, that's when it really showed that it is possible to make a living online through the internet and using your connections that you have. And I'm glad that you're doing it in a different way. I'm doing it with podcasting. You're doing it with investing in real estate. You're in Sweden, and your property that you're buying is in the UK, which is before was impossible to do. So I love that you're able to do this. What got you into the real estate game? Like, what was it about real estate that really pickled you?
So to be honest, I was actually in your country, in the US. I was in LA, actually. Me and my fiance, at the time she was my girlfriend, but we were at a vacation with her best friend, and she knew a lot of people that were doing businesses, both in real estate and several businesses, but all of them had a piece of real estate. And I was talking okay, why do every one of them have, this real estate? So when I came home, I was like, okay, I'm going to listen to some podcasts, read some books, and then going to decide my mind about it. Because prior to it, my fiance said we should have gone into real estate. But I'm like, I don't like the labor, painting and all of this.
Yeah, the real hard stuff.
Yeah, I'm not that type of guy. So when I read the books, did the research, everything, I was like, this is something I can like, because I'm a people person. So it's doing it with people is perfect for me.
All right, yeah. And being in the real estate game, you have to deal with people because they need to buy your real estate, or else you don't make money, or you have to talk to them to get get the real estate. So being a people person is necessary. So I do like that you're concentrating on building those communication skills. That is very necessary and really important. Now, have you had many failures in your life, like not just in entrepreneurship, but like overall? Like most people, you've had a few failures. What would you consider your first failure in either business or in life?
So I think my first failure was I was young. I think I was like 7 or 8 years old, and I failed Swedish, like
The language.
the language. I failed it, and my dad got so mad, because he had tried everything in his power to move us from, like, I'm not saying the ghetto, because here in Sweden we don't have a ghetto, but where was a lot of foreigners that couldn't speak Swedish. So and then I failed. So he appointed a teacher, home lecture, just for me to succeed, and that was so hard to swallow, just to see that I failed Swedish, and he got mad, and but that made me always think like, okay, you need always do your best.
Yeah, it also teaches you that it's okay sometimes to go get that extra help when you need it, which which probably got you a lot further in communicating with people and learning to be better. So that's awesome. Like, your first lesson was so young, and it actually impacts for you the rest of your life. So moving on, like, what would you consider your first failure in business then, in this entrepreneurial journey that you're on?
So my first failure in business was it was in real estate, because that's the real first time I put up a real business. So we had this like Airbnb style. So we were renting out every night and etc. And the management team, like, they promised us a lot of stuff, and then we didn't do any due diligence on what they were saying. So we didn't check up that the prospect they were saying we should have like maybe rented for £100 a night, and then actually was maybe £60 or £70. So we learned that never trust, but verify. That's
trust what they say, but make sure you follow through that they're doing what they're saying. Don't believe the over delivery and underperformance. So that's a valuable lesson. It's really funny because with everything that's going on in the world, with all these people promising to get rich quick and all this, people are falling for it. And it's nice to see that even successful entrepreneurs have fallen for those and learned the lessons to keep going and being the due diligence. So that is lovely to hear you saying that, Nana. Now, what is it about in property specifically that, like, what is it about property? Like, why is that something that you want to do miracle properties and grow your business in that?
So I look at this like my dad said. He said, there's 2 things in life that will never go away. And he said, food and shelter. So, and that's true. If you're looking at it during COVID, I know the tech companies, they went bananas, but real estate went up, food went up, like everything. That those 2, we will always need them. Even if we move to Mars, we need somewhere to stay.
We'll need real estate to cover our heads. Those are shelter, food are pretty much the 2 basic needs, and the need to reproduce. But you can't really monetize that success. You can, but it's a little more difficult. But food and shelter are the 2 big needs in the human world, or in any the kingdom, even the animal kingdom as well. So I love how you're focusing on a human need that will build build for it. So that's great. Something I want to get to is like, what is a lesson your best lesson you learned from success? Like all these entrepreneurs I've interviewed, over 60 entrepreneurs, they all have these great stories about lessons they learned from success. And I want to know, what's your lesson you learned from your greatest success?
Ooh. So what I learned, our first deal or deals that we did was we did 2 deals at the same time. They got over the line the same time, and then it felt such a joy. But directly when we woke up the morning after, we were like, okay, we need to go again. So we enjoyed it, but there's a new day coming. So that's what I think, that people, some people, when they get so successful, they just plateau, they just stay, and then the world moves, and then when they want to catch up, they're already too far away from to catch up. So that's why I always celebrate our success. I always does, but I always know back in the mind, okay, now we've done this, we need to move forward.
That's a great lesson to learn. You know, don't rest on your laurels. It's only temporary. It's only a success for a day, but the grind is still there, and you need to keep going until you can get another success, and then the success just keep rolling in after another. And then maybe take a pause when you got like 24 successes rolling in at a time. Then you can take a little break, and then but still keep going and stay out of your comfort zone. I like that. Always moving forward, never resting on your laurels too much. So very thankful
that's why I like athletes, like greats like Cristiano Ronaldo and LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Michael Phelps, all of these, because they're winning, but they're still pushing the limit to just be better all the time. They're not resting, because you can see some players, some athletes, they do something and then they rest, and then like they won the trophy once, but they didn't have that hunger to improve all the time.
Yeah, I as a hockey fan, I sometimes see that when our players, we sign this great player, and then all of a sudden he's getting this $1 million contract or multi-million-dollar contract, and it's like, why aren't you producing for us? So yeah, they work until they get in, then they're like, I've done it, so I'm going to stay at it. So I do get that. The athletes that do hustle, like Usain Bolt, like Michael Jordan, that just has that hunger to always do better. Doesn't matter how much money they're making. They're like, I want this next championship. I want to break this record. So I like how you have that same mentality, and you're striving for that in your business. It's an amazing mindset to have.
Thanks.
So what lesson did you learn from failure? Because failure in an entrepreneur's world I feel is our fuel. Because I failed countless times, but I've always learned and gotten back up. So what failure that you had or a failure you've had that taught you your best lesson, and what was that lesson?
In entrepreneur or in life?
Let's start with entrepreneur, and then we'll jump into life, because both are very important.
Okay. So as I mentioned, we did 2 deals. So the one deal, like I mentioned, was this Airbnb. And then the second one, we did a flip. So in the UK, they have this law where where you're not allowed to sell the property to another, like a mortgage broker. Yeah, within 6 months. So you can only sell it with cash, but they cannot take it with mortgage. So we need to own it in 6 months before we can turn over the keys. So we didn't get taught this in the program, like the education, but we should have asked, people in our network, and they would have told us this, but we learned. So what I've learned about is you should always check in your network and the peers that are here ahead of you and ask them what they would do and take advice, because that's why you have your network. If you have a good network, obviously.
Yeah, obviously, if you have a good network of people willing to help you and not just live off you. But and obviously, you have this great network because you're being successful. You have some other goals. I see one of your big goals, and I can't wait to talk about that. That's going to be a little later. I'm very excited to hear about it because it's something that hits close to home as well for me. It's very similar to a goal that I have. But I love how you brought up, you have to have this successful network of people with you to help you drive you forward, to be that little light when you're like low on gas, and they're like, here, let me just give you a little light, push you along, and also teach you about the mistakes that they've made. And this is why I did this podcast, was specifically so that people who are interested in, investing in properties like you, they can learn like, oh, okay, so if I invest in the UK, because I didn't know about that. I didn't know that you had to wait 6 months before you could sell the property that you're flipping. So it's like, okay, so I can watch out for that when I do decide to jump into the real estate game in the UK. So thank you very much for sharing that.
You're welcome. You're welcome. That's why I'm here, to share mistakes, everything what I know. That's the point.
Yeah, that's what I love about entrepreneurs. We're so open and willing to share even our faults. Like, look, this is my fault. My biggest thing is I hate editing podcasts. Like, I podcast, but I hate editing them because it's so long and so tedious sometimes. And so I've hired someone in my network to do it for me. But yeah, I get it. Like, you have to have that support network with you, and it's very important to be surrounded and showing your flaws, saying, look, I'm not perfect. I've made mistakes, but here are my mistakes and the lessons I've learned, and this is how it's making me successful. So I love that. Now let's go into, you mentioned, like, I wanted to know your best lesson from failure in your personal life. I'm interested to see what you have coming up with that.
I just got this brain freeze.
I completely forgot what it is. We can jump on to another question, come back to it. No worries there.
Okay,
this is the joys of podcasting. No, never be sorry. Never be sorry. We got this. This is what it is to be a podcaster, going through those little, like I said, little faults that we all have. So let's jump on to a lesson you want to impart to my listeners. What is something that you want my listeners, if they're listening to this podcast, what's the one lesson you want them to take away from this?
Okay, so the lesson, like I mentioned before, trust but verify. You should always do your due diligence on anything. If you buy something, if you do a contract, always double check, triple check. Ask for someone that's more knowledgeable than you. Always check, because in this time of age, that's the only bad thing in our age, in our time, is that there's a lot of scammers, like you mentioned, a lot of scammers. And if you're not careful, you get ripped off. And if you don't have like the energy to go back and build yourself again and go again, because that's what we entrepreneurs do.
Yep.
We fail and fail, but we still go, we go and go and go till we get it right. But not everyone is like that. So try to just trust but verify. That's my I live by that motto.
I love it, because I was just watching something very interesting on Netflix recently. They have Money Explained, and it says the first episode talks about all the scams that are out there regarding the money, like the get rich quick schemes and different things like that. And it says humans are programmed to be trustful. And you saying, like, trust, it's okay to trust, but double check, verify everything they say, because if something sounds too good to be true, it probably is. And if they're saying something and they're not doing it, but you're not paying attention, you're going to lose. So I love how your main motto in life is trust, but verify. I love that. That's a great lesson to pass on to my listeners and even to your young family that you have going on.
Yeah.
So
especially when money is involved,
Oh, yeah.
I mean, because you see some people, they save so much money, and then they go and buy a course or they buy something, and then, they get ripped off, and all of those hours, shifts, all of that grinding, or even if they took a bank loan, I don't know, but all of that effort, and then because you didn't check the people, it's so easy in this time of age to just do a Google search. And you get the information, and if you need to dig deeper, you just
you can dig, you have that ability. Like, that's what I love about the internet. It is like our Library of Alexandria, because we have all this knowledge there. There's so many people across the world that you can pull from their knowledge base. Like we're talking, I'm in North America, you're in Sweden, correct? Sweden, right? Yeah. You're in Sweden, and we're having this conversation, and I'm learning about investing in properties in the UK, where neither one of us are. Which is it's weird because it's like I'm in North America, you're in Sweden, and we're talking about investing in the UK, which I'm curious, with Brexit, how has that changed the investment world for you?
For me, at the time, nothing. Nothing. That's the funny part, because we were so stressed out, me and my fiance, because the 6 months we ended it. The transition was the 31st January, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they dropped out. And we sold the property the 30th. So we were like, woo! But then afterwards, I know people that have sold and bought and purchased after Brexit, during COVID, obviously. And it's still the same.
Nothing's really changed. It's just maybe one more form to fill out, if anything. It's nothing more complicated.
At the moment, nothing at all, because we have like a UK limited company. So I think it's more if we move to the UK that we will have this, like, I think you have it in the US as well, but in Australia, they have like this point score.
Mm-hmm.
Like you need to maybe be educated to this.
Yeah, you have to have this, or you have to have that.
Yeah, to get in. So that's what they have implemented in the UK. But we have no plans of moving there.
No, I hear the UK is very, very expensive to live in at the moment. So I'm quite content staying in my my nice little apartment that I have that's relatively cheap. So this is something I'm interested. I want to touch on this. It's what's your ultimate goal as being an entrepreneur? You wrote something that's really great that like hit me in the heart, and it's actually funny. It's the nearly similar to some other entrepreneurs. I have my Google sheet with all the different answers from my entrepreneurs that I'm interviewing, and it's really funny because right below it is nearly not directly, but the first half of your answer is pretty much the same answer that the first half of someone else's answer. So I'm really interested in hearing. So what is your ultimate goal in life? What is it for Nana? What you end up, on your deathbed, you're looking up and you're like, I completed my ultimate goal. What is that?
I want to be able to touch and help so many people as I can during my lifetime. So I want to build schools in my parents' home country in Ghana, and I want the people here in Sweden, because there's, like I mentioned, not the ghetto, but the areas that are like bad. They just see people with drugs, fast cars, and and they look up to them. I want to show them something else. You can be entrepreneur. You can set up a Amazon store, or you can even be a podcaster like you. There's so many stuff you can do, but they're like in their bubble, and I understand them, because that's what they only see when they wake up.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to help people. I want to build schools. I want to, like, every month I'm putting money to heart and lung disease fund, and I just want to help people. So when I lie there, I know that okay, I've helped so many people, so I can go to rest, and I gave a legacy to my children, so they can live off the properties that we have built. We will be invested in, so they can give it in generation and generations. So start with us, and then just
spread the wealth to as many people as can. I love it. That is something that's intrinsic to me. I love helping people. It caused me to burn out. That's how much I love helping people. I burnt out last year from trying to help so many people. And then I learned that I have to help myself first before I can help other people, invest in myself first. And that's what this podcast was, because I never knew how to be an entrepreneur. I never grew up with entrepreneurs. I grew up with people who worked the 9-to-5 grind. And so to learn to be an entrepreneur, I did the first thing I knew how to do was talk to people, talk with entrepreneurs like yourself to get it.
Yeah.
What's next? What's next? Like if I snap my fingers, we're a year later, Nana, what are you doing? What is Miracle Properties doing? Are you on another venture? What are you doing in a year from now?
Hopefully from a year from now, we've been purchasing some properties. We've been starting to travel again.
Yeah. Hopefully
I
travel's
love
allowed,
travel.
because I want to get to Sweden. Sweden's on my bucket list. I would love to
Oh,
see the
you
beauty.
should. If you come, we should
Don't worry.
definitely.
One of the great things about connecting with all these entrepreneurs in different parts of the world, they've made me promises. Like when I visit, they're going to show me around, and that's how you learn about the country, by getting the nitty gritty from an actual person. So I'm glad that you're willing to show me around.
Definitely. No, so that's our
big goal.
Buying properties and then spreading the world. I've taken on a lot of stuff, like I mentioned. I took on. They've done a community here in Sweden, called Colliance. So it's for Black African Swedes that wants to help the youth by entrepreneurship. So I'm one of the mentors. So I've taken that on. So I'm looking forward to helping people with that and teaching people with the property as well. So yeah, that's where I want to be in 1 year's time.
I love it. You're already 2 steps ahead of where I want to be in a year. You helping not underprivileged youth, but helping the youth that may not have the same advantages that other people have, like like white Swedes or white people or any other ethnicity. They may not have that help, and you being a success and going, look, model after what I've done here, let me help you. I think that's one of the greatest gifts you can do and give back for your success. And that's only going to help you, because it raises your profile and shows how much of a great person you are. So I'm wishing you all the best.
I want to bring the water to them, but I can't force them to drink it.
Exactly.
So as long as I have in my heart, okay, I brought the water, but it's them to decide, Then
the famous quote from the Bible: you can teach a man, you can give a man a fish, you feed him for a day, but you teach a man to fish, he's going to be able to eat forever. So I love that. That is the ultimate goal. Like, as a non-religious person myself, I really,
me too.
I love that quote, because it's what I feel is the true spirit of an entrepreneur. It's you can build a business, but when you teach someone else to build a business for themselves and build them up, it's an even greater gift, because you feel even more accomplished. And being someone that loves the help, like yourself, both of us are, it just warms everything. Like I really truly love that you're giving back so big in your community, especially to a community where in Sweden it's known to be a little white for most of the time, but you're going in and you're like, nah, man, it doesn't matter what color you are, we can help you, let me help you, and you're giving them a positive role model, and I love that.
Definitely.
We're coming up. I'm going to give you the 5 minutes just to talk about what you have to offer to my audience, and so I'm just going to jump off stage for a second, give you the full screen. Look at you, full screen. Nana, go ahead.
All my goals are there.
Yeah, and I was trying to read them, and I'm like, no, that's not English.
No.
So you got a little secret there. Unless you can read the Swedish, I believe it's the Swedish language, correct? It's Swedish.
It
Unless you can read Swede, I don't think you'll be able to figure out his goals. But Nana, please tell us about if someone in my listeners want to come contact you, what can they expect from you? What can they get?
So, first of all, thank you very much for having me on the podcast. So, as mentioned, we invest in the UK. We buy properties, we sell, we keep them, all of this. So, if you want to invest and make your money earn more than in the bank, you can reach out. Or if you want me to guide you how you can do it yourself remotely, or if you want to know just how it works in the UK, you can also contact me. And we also have a podcast.
Oh, excellent.
Pengaflöde podcast. So it's in Swedish. So And there we talk with guests that also invest in the UK and in our journey as well. So basically, that's what I have to offer. I hope that you like what you've listened to, and reach out. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, all of these sites. But if you go to the website there, you'll find it and some story about me and my fiance that I'm doing this with.
I love it. It's a family affair. It's the best type of business when you got your partner who is not just your life partner, but your business partner as well, supporting each other. I'm a little jealous that you have that, and I'm still looking for that, but eventually I'll get it. I know it's out there for me. So
I'm so lucky. I'm going to be honest. I'm so lucky that I have
yeah.
my fiance, because she's the best in the world. You know, like you said, it's so many that I meet that you're so lucky you have a partner, and she's so understandable. She's also entrepreneur and all of this. She's not nagging, because I have some friends that are entrepreneur and they're saying every time they're staying late, their missus was like, do you have to do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
no, I love that you have you have this partner that wants you to succeed just as much as she wants to succeed, and in your family, you're doing it for the family, and they pardon me, they know that it is for the family's benefit, for the future generations, not just right now, but you're investing in that future. So I'm loving that you're saying like you have that partner, and again, super jealous that you have this partner that supported you in this, but at the same time wants to take this journey with you. So we're coming up. My final question. This is a question just specifically for season 4. We're just starting it. You're the first one I'm asking, Nana. What is one book that you suggest entrepreneurs or someone wanting to be an entrepreneur should read before they jump into the lifestyle of an entrepreneur?
How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. That book is amazing. I don't know how old it is.
Oh, it's old. It's at least as old as Warren Buffett, at least.
Yeah. It's so great, that book, you know, because people have like done their own version of it, but it's not like the classic one, you know. No. I don't know if you read the one where the FBI guy negotiation book.
I think I've heard of it. I know the book you're talking about.
I forgot the name now.
It's all right. It's
yellow cover.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I see it in front of me. Unfortunately, I can't remember the name either. But what specifically about that book?
Yeah, because he have like almost the same tactics, like the How to Win Friends and Influence People, you know, because it's so similar.
But you got to go with the classic. You got to go with the classic.
The classic. That's the best. Because if you take that book and understand that book, then you will understand people. And like I mentioned, when you're an entrepreneur, you're always working with people, because you're alone in your business, but you're still always reaching out. So
it's true.
And you need to learn how people work. So
it's exactly. Nana, I want to thank you so much for being a guest today on Invest in Yourself, the Digital Entrepreneur Podcast. Sorry. Apparently drinking a lot of water still doesn't help my throat.
No worries.
I want to thank you again. It's been a pleasure talking with you. Your joie de vivre, your energy is great. You have a beautiful smile that hasn't stopped this whole podcast, which is, as a podcaster, it's an honor to see that. Okay, good. He's having a good time. I'm not doing a bad job. So thank you for reassuring me on that. Guys, if you're interested, please do head over to his website, miraclepropertieslimited.com. Check him out on Instagram and on Facebook. The links will be in the show notes, obviously, as always. Nana, thank you for taking the time, this quick 30 minutes and taking it away from your young family. But it's a pleasure to have you on and learn about investing in the UK.
It was a pleasure being on, and you don't feel like you took time from me, because I enjoy doing this, especially when it's people that are driven like you. And I hope, listeners, that you like the interview, and like you mentioned, please reach out. I'm always open to speaking with people and getting new connections. I love people.
Awesome. Thank you very much and have a lovely day, everyone.
Hey, I want to thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for
Take
listening to the
care.
episode. I had such a great time talking with our guest. Now, I have one simple favor to ask of you. If you enjoyed this episode, please share it with a family member or a close friend so that they can learn from this amazing entrepreneur. I thank you so much for being a fan of the show and just being an amazing human being. And I can't wait to see you guys on the flip.
Thanks for tuning in. Now it's time to take the next step. When you're ready to dive deeper into how to launch, grow, and monetize your podcast, Phil's got something special for you. Join him for a free webinar where he'll reveal the 3 secrets that have helped countless entrepreneurs succeed in podcasting. Click the link in the show notes to save your spot, and let's turn your podcasting dreams into reality.